What really happened on October the 7th and who's trying to hide the truth? Let's talk to a buddy of mine, Senior Vice President at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Jonathan Schanzer. Welcome to the Gawker Reality Check.
Thanks, Dr. G. Good to be with you.
So, Jonathan, I wrote a piece for AMAC this week called What Happened to Never Again? After the Holocaust, after the Shoah, the people who founded or refounded Israel in 1948, and all decent, civilized people said, never again. And instead of never again, October the 7th happens, and we have people here in America who either don't want to talk about it, including the Me Too feminists, or, as we saw in that incredible footage from Oakland, Americans saying, well, there were no rapes, there were no murders, and if there were any, the IDF did it to their own people. Jonathan, how is this happening in America?
I don't know the answer to that. There is something very wrong with our society where people can get away with saying things like this. The denial of sexual violence, the denial of mass murder. This is something that we have not seen in this country for quite some time. I will say that perhaps on the positive side of the ledger, we did see the Secretary General of the United Nations come out yesterday. Antonio Guterres did come out and say that there were rapes that took place on October 7th. Of course, this is almost 2 months later after sustained pressure. Yeah. So you get a sense that people don't willingly want to admit what happened. And I think it really is, it's a reflection of anti-Semitism, but really a reflection of the deterioration of morality in the United States.
Yeah. I have to ask your reaction to, you rarely see this from CEOs, billionaires, titans of industry, and especially people who are labeled anti-Semites. Of course, we know why he was labeled an anti-Semite. But Elon Musk goes to Israel, talks to the prime minister, talks to the president, talks to the families of the victims. And what does Elon say on camera? He said, yeah, it's pretty clear. If you attack civilians like Hamas did, you should all be killed.
To see the places where people were murdered. I just did a talk with the Prime Minister, and I think obviously there are three things that need to happen in the Gaza situation. I mean, there's no choice but to kill those who insist on murdering civilians. There's no choice.
Isn't that a breath of fresh air, that kind of moral clarity, at least from one person, Jonathan?
It is a breath of fresh air, and I think it was welcomed by the Israelis. Of course, the Israelis see the necessity of talking to and working with Elon Musk. They understand that right now there is a significant information war that is taking place, and the platform formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, is a crucial component of that. And so to have someone like Elon Musk come out and very clearly state the truth means a great deal to the Israelis. Of course, this is only a small piece of the information battle that is going to be taking place, I'm sure, for weeks, if not months to come. But I certainly think that his comments and his visit in general was welcomed by the Israelis.
Jonathan, do you have any message for the, I know 92% of Orthodox Jews in America supported President Trump, the most philo-Semitic president since 1948. But do you have any message for those who may be Jewish Americans who don't understand what happened in Israel and fall for this apartheid state, occupier, colonizer narrative? What would you say to them, Jonathan?
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned this because, in the aftermath of 9/11, there was a lot of talk about what a neocon was. And we talked about how neocons were liberals who were mugged by reality. And what I think we can say, regardless of Jewish Americans, Christian Americans, Muslim Americans for that matter, there is a reality that I think we have woken up to since October 7th, that there is a jihadist problem that persists around the world. It is married to anti-Semitism. The two seem to be inextricably intertwined, and not facing that reality is going to be a huge problem. We are hearing right now that a lot of liberals who are pro-Israel have changed the way that they watch TV and they consume news. They have now turned to more conservative outlets because they see them as a breath of fresh air. What that means for everybody's political leanings, let's say a year from now, remains to be seen, but it's very clear that October 7th has had a significant impact on liberal America.
Well, I hope it lasts. In the meantime, you and your colleagues are doing great work. Please follow him at the Foundation for Defense of Democracy, fdd.org. What about the Hamas allies here in the United States? They're here.